Welcome back to Condiment Daily, where today we're going to discuss barbecue sauce.
Actually, before we do that, is this actually the show you started it? I wasn't even thinking.
Yep.
Did you find out what Miracle Whip was, Brad?
No,
Okay.
I'm not going to go out to the store and buy it.
Yeah,
It's
please don't. Miracle Whip is a salad dressing that is made from mayonnaise and other ingredients. The idea being to make it more expensive.
hmm, hmm. See, if I'm going to put some sort of condiment in between two breads, it's going to be some sort of potentially honey mustard, maybe a Dijon, potentially
Well,
ranch, depending on the type of meat that's being allocated to the bread.
yep.
Um, I just don't feel the need to get creative here. I mean, even barbecue sauce sometimes, but
I use a lot of mayonnaise, but I like mayonnaise,
yeah, I
like
don't
not
mind mayonnaise
things
either. Like I
things
get
that
it
are
on
like mayonnaise but aren't mayonnaise.
Chipotle mayo is one of my favorite things on the earth on a burger. It's delicious,
There you go.
but it's not Chipotle Miracle Whip. So
No,
I guess I'm
although it
team
could be.
mayonnaise. That's a good show. We'll catch you tomorrow.
All right,
Uh,
man.
as Paul was joking right before. If you've been using I have good news for you. If you've been using the Mega Chrome extension, you no longer
Don't.
have to worry about your privacy anymore because it's already been fully eviscerated by that extension because it was apparently stealing and logging all your passwords. So,
Um, yeah. I mean, you get what you pay for. I don't know.
Jesus.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
It's not the Microsoft extension for something. It's for like a download service that people use largely to download pirated software.
I mean, that's, yep.
I'm just speaking plainly,
Yep. 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 Microsoft also started testing this. Or
yeah.
rolling, I shouldn't even say testing, I guess rolling it out, the new update for Outlook and all that. And when I saw that, I got real excited because I thought that meant the Windows 10 Mail app was going to be updated to something other than what it is. But
Um,
no.
no. You'll be depressed to know if you hadn't already heard this story that Mary Jo at one point contacted Microsoft about this, and the context of the question was, you have all these different versions of things that are called Outlook. Are you ever going to make them, like a single app or
Mm-hmm.
lower the number of apps, whatever it was? And the answer was no.
Fantastic.
And she said, well, but the problem is, like the Windows 10 mail app is terrible. It's like the worst one of the bunch. And the person she talked to, whoever this was surprised by this assessment and said, actually, internally, we think of that as the end goal for all of our Outlook clients. Like we think that's the one that they got it right.
Wow.
So might be time to move to Gmail, folks. Just a thought.
Yeah, it's the little things that drive me nuts. Primarily that if I read something on my desktop, it should be marked red on my phone. I know it's crazy. It's very, very crazy. But for whatever reason, it takes a good 20 to 30 minutes for that sync to occur, and I can't fix it. I don't know. I've tried.
Yeah, so it's funny because I'm working on the book, and I don't actually use the mail app, but on my
Hmm.
computer I can see it now. It's going through with the live tile with various emails that were in my inbox like 3 days ago. These have all been cleared out. Every one of them is coming up, and one of them is literally 3 days old. Um, it's not an intelligent app.
No.
That's all I'm saying. Like, the point of this thing, and I will say this part of this is a good idea, and I think is kind of interesting. Also, it says I have 99 plus unread emails, which is not true. Uh, is that this thing works in the background, right? In other
Yeah.
words, you don't have to have the application running.
Hmm.
Email occurs, it's pushed, to your computer. Um, modern way of doing things. It's nice. And so if you get a notification about a new email, you can click on it. The email app will open. You can do your thing, and you can close it. You don't have to worry about it. It doesn't have to be sitting there running. It's modern. But man, the app is just it's just garbage. It's so terrible.
It is. And Newton's still dead. And
Sorry.
here we are. Here we are. And then this was announced a bit ago. Skype can now officially and super positively, I would say we tried out, but I don't want to break the already delicate setup that this is, but it can now record
Yeah.
your calls.
Yeah. Um, this is a feature I could have used about, I don't know, 15 years ago. And, like you, I mean,
Hmm.
I do a lot of virtual meetings now. It would be helpful if I was talking to somebody from Microsoft or some other company to record the call so that I could have more accurate notes, because I often quote people,
Yep.
what they say. I'm typing furiously. I can type very quickly, but I'm also kind of a messy typer, so there are mistakes. It's nice to have that kind of thing built in.
Yeah.
And now here it is, just in time for my career to end. So thanks, Microsoft. Great timing on that one.
But yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be. See, the reason why people are gonna make Brad just use it for the podcast. Well, the problem is then I can't do things like this where I just switch the
Right.
cameras and give everyone a seizure.
It's not. Yeah. This is useful for some people. It's not
Hmm.
useful for a podcast.
I agree. It's
Yeah.
useful for doing explicitly that, just recording the call so you can
Hmm.
play it back later, and
Yeah. No, it's good.
that's gonna serve the vast majority because I don't think too many people are podcasting with Skype other than us.
Well, the other, well, the other thing that happened recently was, Skype has taken a step back from that UI they introduced last
Hmm.
year. So there's another 12 months wasted. But this is a good example of a problem I have with Microsoft where it's kind of weird what they focus on sometimes. Like they're always promoting like this big new thing, and they often seem to let the basics go by the wayside. So the ability to record a Skype call is something that people have been asking about for years and years. The ability of a Skype window to resemble that of Snapchat is something no one has ever asked for, and they spent a lot of time on that.
Hmm.
And they tried to meet the complaints by changing the features somewhat, and then 1 year later they're like, we give up. It didn't work. So at least,
At least they gave up because they
yeah,
totally ruined Skype. But now it's
yes,
back into
yes,
a usable thing. So
yeah, yeah. Yesterday I was talking about a Microsoft Edge article that I intended to publish yesterday. I finally did publish it today, and I think in the writing of it, what I finally kind of did express was this notion that Edge is in many ways emblematic of the problems with Windows 10, which is that they've added over the years a bunch of crap to it, but they've not added the things that I think most people want. And the Skype thing falls into this category too. It's like this weird emphasis on this other stuff. So Edge, unique among browsers, is kind of overloaded with these strange
mhm.
features related to research and learning tools and setting tabs aside. And Cortana works for certain things, but not for other things. And it's this giant, inconsistent mess of weird stuff, kind of like Windows 10. The basics of it are good in both cases.
Mhm.
And Sky, I think Sky falls in this exact category. It's like you've got the core of it is right, you know, but instead of like just kind of fine tuning it and getting it exactly right, you've added all this stuff to it. And the
Yeah.
problem with Microsoft, the culture there, of course, is they're not good at what I call finishing the job. And the people who added these things have moved on to other parts of the company where they can ruin something else. And there's no one. Well, I mean, we can follow careers. You can see
Wow.
lot of multi-time losers in there. I'm just saying, but um, the features, the problems never get fixed. And they're made worse over time. This is something I can't express in an intelligent way, just saying it out loud. But if you go and look at the text tools, the text options that are available in various
Mhm.
reading views, whether it's a web page, a PDF file, an EPUB, or an ebook, they are inconsistent between each other. They are presented in different ways for some reason. The options are sometimes different. That makes sense because different types of documents obviously have different options. That's fine. But they've added more of them in this most recent version, and they haven't added them to the same interface. So there are actually two different places you can go to get in some cases, the same text options for different types of documents.
Mm.
And it's like, guys, I you don't have to have a graduate degree in user interface design to know why this is a huge mistake. And the problem is these features could actually be useful to some tiny minority of the population who I would not want to deny this stuff. But because of the convoluted nature of the presentation, those are the very people who will not ever find this, will never know about it, will never take the time to configure it, and will never remember how it works. And I don't actually have the solution beyond maybe you have one UI, not two, um, but it should be obvious to anyone who actually looks at this stuff that it's a problem. I look at it because I'm writing a book. I think most people just don't look at it, including people at Microsoft, So yeah, I mean, these things, like I said, we could expand it out, but Windows 10, Edge, and now Skype, I think all fall into the same bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Some good ideas there. The core of it is right, and there's a bunch of crap put on top of it for some reason, and then it just sits there forever. So you're right. It's good that they got rid of it in Skype because they actually did step back from the cliff. They don't usually do that.
Yeah, while you were doing that, I was thinking about something else.
Okay.
So when I want to like actually see you, I have to look over here.
Mm-hmm.
The camera's obviously over here.
Yep.
What I need to do is drag that monitor foot.
Right. So that you're actually looking forward. Yeah. When I had that computer problem a few weeks ago, I ended up having to do a couple of podcasts with a Surface Book laptop that was on the desk. So it's down there for me.
Yeah.
But the camera was still up there on top of the monitor. Right. So if I look forward, I mean, I have to kind of look up a little to look right at it. But I mean, I'm looking forward. It's normal. But, if you could imagine an entire podcast where I'm kind of doing this, it's, camera placement matters. I think is what I'm trying to say.
No, it does.
Yeah.
So, you saying something about Edge?
It doesn't matter. Don't use it. S mode is another example. It's baloney. It's stupid ideas.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going, by the way. You don't hear a lot about S mode.
That's how you know how it's going. They've had multiple opportunities to tout all of the educational institutions that are seeing great success with S mode and how awesome it is and how everyone loves it and it hasn't caused any problems. You don't ever hear any of that. And you won't because it's wrong.
Fantastic. Microsoft To Do, my favorite task management application, is getting inking support for all those times I write on my screen.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'll say to this is since Marcus has taken over that team, I assume we can directly attribute this to him. It seems like it coincided. There have been so many updates to this app, and that followed literally a year, where I don't think it was ever updated in a meaningful way, not even once. And a lot of people, I think you were among them, were kind of openly asking, you still working on this thing? What are you doing? The past 6 or 8 months, or whatever it's been, has been very different. And it's actually less likely for a week to go by without some update to the app, right, than there is otherwise. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, they've been shoving them out the door. And also things that have fallen out the door. Amazon passed that mythical or magical $1 trillion mark, which I actually think is probably more sustainable for Amazon than Apple long term. Just because, if somebody creates a phone that even marginally nicks into the prestige of the iPhone, Apple's stock price will tumble faster than, Microsoft's browser market share.
Yikes. I would say, I agree with that. Amazon is a multi-product company, and that is super key to future success. So there's always a danger when your entire thing is run on a single product, which is absolutely the case with Apple. I mean, I think the iPhone directly is 60-something% of their profits. If you look at the adjacent stuff, services, it's like 90%. It's Apple could, remember they got rid of the computer part of the name. They changed their name to Apple. They could just change the name right now to iPhone Inc. It would make more sense than when they changed it from computer to just Apple. Yep.
So we will see what happens there. You got anything else for today, Mr. Thurrott?
No, nothing dramatic. I'm running up like a health update for premium folks. It's been over 6 months since my last one. I had kind of hoped to turn some corner with intermittent fasting, and I'll discuss that a little bit. But I think the big thing for people is, because I know a lot of people who are concerned about the diet for some reason, were worried about my cholesterol or blood pressure or whatever it might be. I finally got all this. We moved, and we've kind of slowly gotten up to speed on things like the dentist and now the doctor and other things. So I finally had I went in specifically and was like, look, I really want to get a complete blood work and do the whole thing. And because I've been out here and there, I've had to go. I had an echocardiogram. I've been poked and prodded in every way imaginable. It's been nice. It's like what it must be like to be a prize steer or something. I always get some person's hand up my ass. Anyway, the point is, what is
God.
the point? I don't even know anymore. I'm healthy. It's all good. So I'll write about that soon.
Well, fantastic. That is.
Getting old is good, is what I'm saying. It's.
I don't know if I agree with that. I definitely think there's like
no downside I can think of at all. Actually, are there any upsides? I don't even know. It's the end is near, Brad. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's the point of old age. You get to the point where you embrace death. I don't know. I just, but going to the hospital a lot or to these labs and things, is a sobering experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the kind of place you want to hang out. Have a cup of coffee and just watch the world go by.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Tend to agree with that.
How about you? Any more mayonnaise related adventures?
I hope not. Jeez, that's that would put me into the hospital. I actually have no idea. No, but yeah, I think I got nothing. We'll have a fun show tomorrow, I believe, based on some things. And don't read into that too much, people. Trust me, you're gonna way oversell it.
Sam's : great new things happening Thursday. Exclusive. Sources close to The Verge have confirmed that Brad Sams will report on some interesting things tomorrow. But not that interesting.
Yeah.
I guess.
It'll get a modest, like, exhale out of your nose type noise when you read the headlines or whatever. I don't know.
But not the sound of a deflating balloon.
No, it's not Surface hardware or anything like that. People are going to be like, oh my God, here comes the Surface.
Yeah.
And no.
Is it going to be Andromeda? Oh, it's another tablet.
No. Surface stuff is next month, people. Andromeda is sometime never.
It's on the Sci-Fi Channel, folks.
All right, folks. That wraps it up for today because we're ending on such a low note. We'll catch you back here on Thursday and have yourselves a wonderful day filled with ketchup, barbecue, and mayonnaise.
Wow.